What's up? What's up? What's up? Your boy Domuto. We're back with another video. Yes, sir. We are watching Charlotte Shan, and we're what if Charlotte Shan was indeed in Dragon Ball? Full story. We should be watching in part 3 and part 4. So yeah, let's get into it.
Last time, we saw what the group was deciding to do. The best course of action was to obviously try and go to Namek,
Right.
seeing if they have any Dragon Balls so they could revive the people that died. And if it doesn't have Dragon Balls there, well, it's at least worth a shot to check. I'm going to make one minor change to the last part, one that I didn't really clarify too much. They did spare Vegeta, but instead of him going away, he's going to stay here. Even though everyone hates him, they might be useful for him. Maybe in the future they could help him defeat Frieza. And if he goes with them to Namek, maybe he can get Dragon Balls for himself. He's interested and wants to go. One of the great things here is that Goku can actually follow them this time. Instead of him falling behind because he needs to heal, he's actually okay. His injuries weren't too bad. Sure, he is beat up a bit, but nothing a few days of rest won't fix. He'll be joining everyone on the trip, and pretty much the whole group's going, besides Yamcha and Chaozu obviously. As for Vegeta, he's obviously the one that's beat up the most. And as you could probably guess, they don't really know what to do with him. He is a bad guy after all, and they could just leave him here on Earth, but they don't really trust him alone. It's probably better for them to bring him along. That way, they can make sure he's actually okay, while also making sure he doesn't pull any stunts on Earth. And they don't really expect the need for any sort of firepower, but if they do actually need to fight someone, Vegeta's another fighter that they could use help from. Think about it, once he heals, he'll be more of a help if anything. He's gonna get a lot stronger from getting a boost in power. Especially considering how his injuries are worse than pretty much anyone else's. Like I said, the group doesn't think they need that many people, but they all want to go. How often do you get to go into space? I mean, just sounds fun to do regardless. So they're all going to end up going, which will actually work out well in the end considering what's going to happen later on, and you'll see as this part continues. They just think the idea of space travel is cool. So the whole group is pumped up. Bulma's able to make a ship, with the help of Salad because of his intelligence, as well as some help from Popo and Kami, and surprisingly, some help from Vegeta. He does have a ship here after all, and Bulma's able to reverse engineer it, trying to figure out the tech inside of it to use in her own ship. It's a weird but also fun experience for her. She gets to see all this weird alien technology, not only from the Saiyans, but the ship that Kami arrived on Earth in. Plus, working with Salad is a kind of weird experience for her. He is a bug android looking type thing, but it's interesting to see how he works. He is smart after all, and she's able to tell that pretty easily. He has a lot of Jiro's knowledge too, which could be pretty useful, not to mention a lot of her knowledge, so he works well with her. It takes some time, but they're able to finally build a ship, including some interesting technology on there, such as a gravity chamber suggested by Vegeta, considering how Earth's gravity is so weak compared to something like planet Vegeta. The ship is massive and has its own training area, so all the people on the ship can actually train in that gravity room. Since it is going to take some time to actually get to Namek, they'll need something to do. Training's the perfect thing. They'll get stronger on the way there. With all the arrangements set in place, they all board the ship and head off to Namek, leaving Earth. Since we talked about him a bit in the last part, let's talk about Jiro now. As I mentioned, he has a brand new android, one that he can trust, another Red Ribbon collaborator, someone who also hates Goku. He has a lot in common with Jiro. He probably hates Goku more than him actually. I mean, look how Goku scarred him. Obviously the person I'm talking about is Tao, who's already been turned into a cyborg, but not really a great cyborg. I mean, there's no infinite energy or anything. Look how he lost to Tenshinhan in the 23rd World Tournament. If he were an android that Jiro made, he would have been way more powerful. The great thing is, with him already being a cyborg, it's not too much to change with him. Jiro already has what he needs to work with. The cybernetic parts are already installed on Tao. All Jiro needs to do is upgrade him, which shouldn't be too tough. This is pretty interesting for him. It's the first time he's actually working with humans to turn into an android.
Right.
He does have a project way down the road for androids 17 and 18, but it's better to work with Tao first, someone who's already got these parts installed and someone who's willing to collaborate. Obviously Tao would agree to this, getting modified to be stronger and to have infinite energy. That's great, it'll allow him to defeat Goku easily. Not only satisfying himself, but satisfying Jiro in the process. So, Jiro begins working. His goal is to eliminate Salad as well, since he is a rogue agent and he doesn't really trust him. For all he knows, Salad is plotting to come back and kill him sometime. Not to mention he teamed up with Goku of all people. He doesn't want that. He can't have one of his creations running around acting good. And because of that, he only has two simple goals right now. Kill Goku and kill Salad.
Oh,
and like
shit.
I mentioned, he does have plans for other androids, including 17 and 18, who are also human-based androids, but he hasn't started those yet. He would like to make another bio-android though, and he actually does have plans for a concept called Cell, but he isn't entirely sure, just as I mentioned last time. It may be a little bit too risky. I mean, the last time he made a bio-android, look what happened. He doesn't know if Cell would be the same. If he does start working on Cell, it would take longer, and Cell might not even obey him. He is a pretty similar concept to Salad, so he's not too sure if he wants to create Cell, but he'll keep that in mind. However, he does continue building other androids as well. He's not just going to work on Tao.
I need a haircut.
He may also modify
I ain't gonna
himself in
lie.
the future, turning him into an android. Alongside all that though, he's planning to possibly build the best artificial human yet, a project simply titled Android 13. Oh yeah, he's finally being brought into one of my scenarios. With the group leaving now, this gives him a lot of time
old
to
trucker
work on
hand.
these new androids, specifically his favorite project so far, Android 13. Modifying Tao is great and all, but having another android, that would be even better. It would assure that they'd get stuff done. Besides this project labeled Android 13, he is working on some other side projects, 2 androids to go along with him, 14 and 15. Slowly but surely, he's building his army. Tao, 13, 14, 15. And in case those don't work, he has plans for 17, 18, 19, 20, even Cell. He's got so much on his mind, and he's confident. If one thing fails,
That nigga
he
did
has
make a lot of
another
androids,
project. If that
goddamn.
fails, he can go on to that. But as far as he's concerned right now, Tao and Android 13 should be enough, as well as 14 and 15 along with them. Work begins on the Red Ribbon Redneck. And with that covered, let's go back to the main group on Namek. We'll see more of the Red Ribbon androids in the next part. Obviously on the way to Namek, everyone's going to be gravity training. It's the best thing to do right now. And it was a great suggestion from Vegeta. It's a really effective form of training, and they do need something to occupy them in their downtime. Of course, this would make everyone a lot stronger. We saw this with Goku on his way to Namek in the original series. He got really strong.
Everybody can't handle the
multiple times
same
stronger than he was before.
gravity.
So, the
weight.
same is going to happen with the group. Let's cover some power
Like
levels
Krillin.
because that's an easy way to show where they are in terms of strength. Salad would be at the top. With his great potential as a bio-android, we'll put him at around 180k. I know he's based on my character and he's kind of a self-insert, but I promise I'm not doing it to show favoritism. It's just because he's a bio-android, and realistically, if he were training, he would be like this. And to be fair, I could make him way more overpowered than he is. But I think this is fair, so don't judge me, don't judge me. That little tangent aside, for Goku, he's at 150k, the second strongest of the group. Vegeta would be around 100k. Since he's injured, he wouldn't be doing too much training, but having a Zenkai boost would help him grow. As for Piccolo, he's at 80k, with Gohan close behind at 60k. The humans are also a lot stronger than normal, but they're the weakest of the group. Tenshinhan and Krillin are both at 30k, with Yamcha at 25k, thanks to all his training on King Kai's planet. He's there with Chaozu, who's at around 9k. Yeah, they're not going to be involved in this part, but let's cover them anyways. Throw them a bone so you guys know what they're up to. They're not
I
just
mean,
waiting
they jump
on
somebody,
other
it might,
nothing.
do something.
And yeah, that seems pretty weak, but considering how strong Yamcha is in the main series, this is actually way better than where he was at this point. After some more travel time, the group finally arrives at Namek. But when they get there, they notice something
Piccolo.
weird out in space. There's other ships flying around, and Vegeta then realizes they must have been tracked somehow. They were working with the Frieza Force technology after all to make their ships. And he begins to realize they may have actually forgot about something. Maybe one of the technologies has some sort of tracker in it. No, that actually isn't the case. Salad and Bulma knew that this may be an issue, so they made sure to remove any sort of tracking devices. They must have had someone watching, if anything. And that theory is actually correct. Without anyone knowing, Frieza actually sent some scouts to Earth, and they went to see what happened with Vegeta, but actually found out that everyone's going to Namek, which is why they followed them here. Right now, there's only a few different ships here, but regardless, this means Namek is now under siege because of them, and they know they need to stop it, also feeling bad because they led everyone here. The group begins by splitting up. Vegeta goes with the humans, Salad goes with Piccolo, and Goku goes with Gohan. 3 groups should make it easier to find the Dragon Balls, but if they encounter any Frieza Force members, they could easily defeat them as well in groups. Everyone is easily able to wipe out these soldiers after all. I mean, think about how strong they are compared to everyone here. They're really weak, so it's not really too much of an issue. Even the Namekians are joining in to help. I mean, it is their planet after all, and they don't know why these people are here, but everyone explains. The
Now,
warrior Namekians are obviously going to fight for their planet, joining these other people. They accidentally started a rebellion against the Frieza Force, and Vegeta is loving every second of it. This is amazing. It's exactly what he's wanted all this time, and maybe they can finally cause the downfall of Frieza, even if it's inadvertently capping it. The group does feel bad though, as I mentioned before. They think they led Frieza's army to this planet. Vegeta mentions this to one of the Namekians as they're fighting Dodoria, and it's good because Dodoria retorts by saying they were actually spying on everyone. They were going to come to this planet regardless. Frieza's known about the Wish Orbs for a while, even if they were just a rumor at that point, and he has had his eye on this planet for a while. If it's any consolation, he tells Vegeta they would have attacked this planet anyways. Vegeta and his pals just caused them to come here earlier. But Zarbon tells him it doesn't matter. They're gonna die regardless. Whether or not they came here now or later, it doesn't matter. Too bad for him though, because right after he finishes this sentence, Vegeta one-shots both of them. So much for all that bravado. A lot of Frieza's crew is getting wiped out. There's only a couple people left. The Ginyu Force who aren't here yet, and Frieza himself. With all these developments, of course Frieza's gonna decide to send the Ginyu Force in. But there is an issue with that. While there are people that would love to fight strong fighters like this, two of those people are Piccolo and Salad. And even though Salad does have some Saiyan DNA with him, those two are a lot more methodical. They see these space pods arriving and decide maybe it's best to destroy them before they even get onto the planet. Yeah, it would be a challenging fight, but why go through that effort? They could just kill them now. The two send a couple blasts into space, and before the Ginyu Force even gets into the atmosphere, their ships are blown up, leaving them to die a cruel death in the vacuum of space. Kinda messed up. But you know what? It was a smart move, and they wouldn't have to deal with any of their weird gimmicks. And this is the tipping point for Frieza. He was already pissed, but this just makes him even more angry. They're wiping out his whole army with no casualties on their side, and they just killed the Ginyu Force with a dirty trick, not even waiting for them to arrive. I mean, it was a smart move, but still, it was dirty. He'll fight them if he needs to then. And his first targets will be the people that killed the Ginyu Force, Salad and Piccolo.
Oh, shit.
He arrives on the planet, looking around to see where they are. The rest of the group senses this too. With Frieza's huge power, they know he's here. Goku's group, Vegeta's group, and all the Namekians decide to head over there, giving Piccolo and Salad some support. Vegeta's amazed. This may actually work. They destroyed all of Frieza's army, and the only person left is him. King Cold is somewhere out in space, and it seems like he may arrive sometime soon, but as for now they could just defeat Frieza. He's still unsure, but they might actually be able to pull it off somehow. Hopefully things end up well for them. Frieza can tell he's going to have some fun. His scouter's going haywire. Everywhere he detects power levels, there's dozens of people fighting against him. Namekians, Earthlings, even Saiyans. But even though he's way outnumbered, he doesn't feel that he's outmatched. His pure strength should be more than enough. Not to mention, his anger's going to help guide him. Before encountering Frieza, it's important that the group gets back to full health. They're not sure if they want to use their Senzu beans just yet, but luckily they don't have to. Obviously there's a lot of Namekians able to heal. And guess where they are? Planet Namek. So they have a lot of them in abundance. Everyone's able to get healed. Obviously, the humans and Piccolo won't grow stronger from being healed, but as for the Saiyans and for Salad, they actually will be. After fighting all these people, they are a bit worn out and a bit injured. So they're not going to get a massive boost in power, but it's still going to be noticeable, considering how long they've been fighting and how aggressive. Let's do another brief coverage. Salad would be at 300k, Goku would be at 280k, Vegeta would be at 250k, and Gohan would be at 150k. Really great boost for all of them, especially someone like Gohan who was one of the weakest in the group before. Salad's got a great boost too, even stronger than he was before. Goku's also closing the gap between him and Salad. Even though he hasn't really known Salad for too long, the two of them have a really nice rivalry now. The time spent on the ship was enough to cement that, and the two are having fun keeping this up. And Goku technically is the stronger one here because he has Kaioken. His base is weaker than Salad, but once he actually goes into Kaioken, he'll be a lot stronger. Vegeta's also proud of himself too. He is catching up to Goku after all, trying to get ahead of him like he once was. But that's not the important thing right now. The main thing is that they need to defeat Frieza. They're amazed at their new strength and they hope this will help, but they're still not too sure. They fly over to where Piccolo and Salad are, finding other Namekians along the way. The Namekians were the first to arrive, at least some of them. They're willing to do anything to defend this planet. They'll die if they need to. They can always repopulate. It's easy, and it's important to defeat Frieza and preserve this planet and the universe. Frieza threatens everyone, not just Namek after all. And even if they may die in a struggle against him, it'll be worth it. The warriors are ready to put their lives down, just like the Earthlings are. But more importantly, they have a better strategy. Why not fuse into one strong warrior? Making the ultimate Namekian fighter. If they all fuse together, they'll have a better shot against Frieza, creating a fighter with strength unlike any other. And they have the perfect vessel right there, Piccolo. He's the strongest Namekian, and if other Namekians fuse into him, they think they'll stand a chance against Frieza. Even with the humans being stronger, and with the Saiyans getting another great power boost, they want to be entirely sure that they can defeat Frieza. But then Piccolo brings up an interesting point. He completely forgot. Wait, if they could fuse into him, they could also fuse into Salad too. He is part Namekian after all. The Namekians are surprised to hear this. They knew he was a bio-android, but part Namekian? Interesting. With this DNA in him, he may be able to fuse. I mean, Piccolo's seen him use other Namekian techniques, regeneration, being able to stretch his limbs, whatever. Not to mention with Salad's amazing potential, he could probably get a huge boost in power from Namekian fusion. Not to mention he is the strongest of the group right now, disregarding Goku who has Kaioken. Piccolo would fuse into him, but if they did that, they'd lose Kami and the Dragon Balls on Earth. If anything, he should wait to reunite with Kami once he goes back there. It's better to have two warriors than one anyways. so he's not going to fuse into Salad. Instead, the Namekians decide they're going to split up, each of them fusing into Piccolo and into Salad. They first start with Piccolo, and he sees an amazing boost in power. Namekians keep fusing into each other and then into Piccolo, and he can't even comprehend the strength that he's feeling. All these warriors within him, they're granting power and strength unlike any other. It just makes him even more confident. Salad sees this and he's getting kind of nervous. The Namekians are giving up their lives, and he's not even sure if it'll work, but it's at least worth a shot. Piccolo assures him that it's okay, and he should go ahead with it. And reluctantly, Salad agrees. Some of the Namekians fuse into each other, and then fusing into Salad. Frieza's getting closer and closer, and then he senses something on the scouting. A huge power level nearby. Hold on, this can't be right. It's a couple million and it's rising. And that's not all. There's another power right next to that one. That power of 1 million is Piccolo's, and right next to that is his student Salad,
1 million.
who has a power that's continuously increasing. But something's changing. Piccolo notices. Salad isn't just growing stronger. He's starting to morph into something else. He begins glowing. Wait, is he transforming? Then Piccolo realizes this must be it. Inadvertently, through Namekian fusion, they may have helped him get closer towards perfection. He's not entirely sure that this will bring him right towards that, but he knows for sure that this will be a step up. Frieza continues flying over, and just as he's about to land, his scouter explodes. A brilliant flash of light covers the area. Everyone else sees it too as they're flying over. The bright light that Frieza saw disappears. He continues flying over, wondering what he just witnessed. His scouter went off the charts before exploding. Whatever power he sensed, it was in the 6 digits. No, 7 digits, maybe even 8. He wasn't sure. The thing blew up before he could even get a good reading. It must be broken. I mean, it did explode after all. There's no way they actually have someone that strong fighting for them, right? But even if they do, it doesn't matter. Frieza has a lot of power in reserve. And if he needs, he will transform. And if he transforms, it'll be over for good. He doesn't have anything to worry about. Well, he hopes so. The Namekians finish merging with Salad, and Piccolo watches on in awe. First off, Piccolo is way stronger than he would have ever expected. It's incredible. His own power is something that he couldn't even imagine. He didn't know this type of strength is possible, but even more impressive is Salad. Not only did his power massively increase, but something else changed about him. It's like something within his android biology activated. Just like they theorized, he actually was able to transform. As a bio-android that's based on getting power from others, he can evolve with enough power and data obtained. And this mass merging actually gave him that. They never really expected something like this, but the transformation is very subtle. This definitely isn't his perfect form, but it does serve as a definite step towards that perfect form. He still looks similar to how he did before. His appearance only slightly changed. He did grow in size and looks older somehow, and his armor slightly morphs from what it looked like before. He's just as surprised as Piccolo. He wasn't aware that this would make him transform of all things. Hell, he didn't even really know that Namekian fusion existed until recently, but it inadvertently served as a way for him to transform, now permanently in his second form, at least until he gets to the next step. And the fusion finishes just in time, because right after this, Frieza lands in front of the two of them. Wait, was this the power he was sensing? It's just a single Namekian and some purple dude. He's never seen someone like that purple guy before, not knowing what kind of alien race he is. But a Namekian? Why is he so strong of all people? Frieza doesn't care. Regardless, he'll kill both of them. And it shouldn't be too hard. He starts off by aiming a finger at Piccolo. Quickly, he charges Death Beam, hitting him head on. The beam makes contact with Piccolo's chest. And
sorry guys, I've been drinking. I'm a little tired.
It just bounces off and dissipates. Interesting. Frieza launches more and more, as Piccolo moves towards Frieza, dodging all the beams, landing a powerful kick right under his chin. He sees now. He underestimated this Namekian. His scouter must have been right. Piccolo immediately begins fighting Frieza, knowing how big of a threat he is and that he must eliminate him right now. He gets a few good hits in and actually injures Frieza a bit. And Frieza knows he can't hold back as much anymore. He's going to have to transform at least to his third form. He jumps right past the second form, going into this one. It looks terrifying, and in terms of power, it's way stronger. But still, the two of them aren't really fit.
That shit did always look
Piccolo
creepy to
tries
me.
to attack and learns that Frieza's a lot more durable now, but still not immune to Piccolo's power. And even better, Salad is still there. The two of them team up, attacking Frieza 2v1. And during this team up, Salad actually gets a great idea. He sticks out his tail, stabbing Frieza in the side, catching him off guard. Frieza shrieks as his power is absorbing him, creating a death saucer in his hand and slicing off Salad's tail. But it's too late. Salad already took a good chunk of energy. Not to mention all of that data on Frieza that he gets from absorbing him. Oh, and as for his tail, he just regenerates that. And Frieza comes to realize that these guys must be really annoying to fight. He's gonna have to go all out. They're both powerful and can regenerate, and as far as he knows, that guy Salad must have copied his moves somehow, because now he's fighting him perfectly, using a lot of his techniques. Salad prepares to finish it off with the Death Beam, but as he launches the beam, Frieza powers up and begins transforming. The act of him powering up alone actually destroys the beam, with Frieza then completing his transformation, and just as he does, the rest of the group finally arrives, surprised at what they see. They see someone that they think is Frieza. It looks like him, but he's different somehow.
Still
Obviously, some of the
puny.
group hasn't seen him yet, but Vegeta, he doesn't recognize Frieza. He wasn't aware he could transform to this level. But also they see Salad. He transformed too, and they could sense Piccolo's energy. He's so much stronger than before. They wonder what happened. But Piccolo says they'll explain later. Right now they need to defeat Frieza. But the group feels kinda unsure about it. Of course they're not gonna back down, but still. Frieza is so strong now that even with Salad and Piccolo's power up, they're not sure how they'll be able to accomplish that. But there's actually a couple good things working for them. For one, Piccolo did deal some damage to Frieza while he was in his first form, and that doesn't just go away from him transforming. He's going to retain that damage. Not to mention, Salad stole a lot of his energy when he was in his third form. So even though Frieza's in his final form, he's still pretty injured. And even if he powers up into his buff 100% form, he's not really going to be at 100%. More like 50%. Their effective fighting strategies have actually weakened him by half. And as you can assume, that's very helpful. Not to mention, Goku's there now. And by utilizing Kaioken, it helps even the fight even more. Goku also does want to use a Spirit Bomb, but he needs a distraction for that. And Gohan actually has a really good idea. He decides to retreat from the fight, going to gather the Dragon Balls in order to summon Porunga. Not only will this allow him to get the wishes, but it'll distract Frieza, allowing Goku some time to charge the Spirit Bomb. Gohan slips away from the group as they hold Frieza off. And angered, Frieza asks how this is possible. Who are these people? And why is Vegeta with them? Vegeta does the honors in introducing them. That guy in the orange suit, Kakarot, he's another Saiyan. The purple guy, an android, genetically engineered to be the perfect warrior. And Piccolo, according to what he said, he's a fusion of Namekians now, the strongest of the race at the moment. And those two Baldies, they're Earthlings. He thinks he doesn't really know. They don't really look too normal. I mean, one guy doesn't have a nose, and the other guy has 3 eyes. But whatever, he doesn't want to ruin his cool moment, and he doesn't need to unnecessarily bully Tenshinhan and Krillin. But Vegeta tells Frieza one thing that he needs to know: they're here to defeat him. Goku butts in and says they're actually here for the Dragon Balls, but Vegeta turns around and yells at him, "Don't ruin the moment." He had a really cool speech going on there. Goku apologizes and the fight continues. And Frieza begins to notice Goku's not actually fighting that much. It's mostly Piccolo, Salad, and Vegeta doing it, with Krillin and Tenshinhan lending support. And then Frieza realizes, wait, one of the people's missing. There was another fighter before, it was some kid or something. His eyes start scanning the area, but he can't find anyone. Wait, where did he go? They're planning something, aren't they? And suddenly, the sky turns black. Frieza doesn't know what's going on, but then in the distance he sees a giant dragon. And he's pissed. He knows exactly what
Big
happened.
ass dragon.
That kid slipped away to get the Dragon Balls and summon the dragon. He's going to steal the wish. In his rage, Frieza begins rocketing off, but before he can even leave, he's then shot out of the sky by 2 Makanko Sappos. A simultaneous attack from Piccolo and Salad. Frustrated, he powers up, going into his full power mode. He jumps back up and is about to fly off, but before he does, he looks up and sees something behind Piccolo and Salad. With the area now completely dark from the clouds, he notices a weird blue glow. His eyes trail upwards and he sees. He shoots a laser at it, not knowing what it is. But the laser does nothing. He shoots more and more, and then suddenly it's thrown towards him. Goku flings his hands forward, launching the Spirit Bomb. Frieza's confident that he can take it on, and begins trying to push it back. But as he pushes, it starts hurting him. He feels pain. This attack's actually too strong for him. But he maintains his demeanor. He says that it's nothing. He can push it back. He can counter this. But as he tries to, he's then hit by attacks from below. The other 5 fighters keep attacking him. And this is not only enough to injure Frieza, but also throw him off guard, allowing the Spirit Bomb to get closer and closer to actually killing him. Goku gives it one last push, and the rest of the group continues attacking Frieza together. And they suddenly feel a huge burst in power. Little do they know, Gohan actually had a third wish. He had to use 2 of them to revive Chaozu and Yamcha, obviously. But that third one he didn't want to go to waste. He asked Porunga to heal all the fighters, and this gives them just enough power, just the amount that they need. The Spirit Bomb finally swallows Frieza whole, causing a massive explosion that illuminates the area. And as the blast dissipates, the clouds do too. The dragon is gone. Gohan has made the wishes. And the Spirit Bomb actually did the trick. They had enough people fighting Frieza and enough power to actually overwhelm him. They can't believe it. They defeated him and won. They got their wishes, and Namek is saved. Well, kinda. I mean, Namek has some pretty bad damage, and most of the warrior Namekians are fused into Piccolo and Salad, but, well, the planet's safe. But whatever, they don't care. They can just repopulate with eggs. They're just glad everything's okay now. Well, seems like they accomplished their mission, and now they could finally head back home. So, what would happen following this? Well, on their way home, they would continue their training, and do the same when they actually get back. Salad's actually the strongest in the group now. His Namekian fusion and his second form gave him a huge boost in power. He can tell he's getting closer and closer to the power that he needs to reach his perfection. He's obviously not quite there yet, but he's on the path to get it. He's glad that he's making progress, as is Piccolo. It seems the students finally surpassed the Master. But one of the most interesting things is that he gained the powers of Frieza, getting a lot more insight into who Frieza was. He had his drones going around Namek the whole time too in the fight. They helped him get a bit stronger and learn some new techniques. Not to mention he has all the techniques of the Namekians that fuse within it. It's weird though, he and Piccolo could still feel their presence. Even though they have no control of the body, they feel the Namekians watching over them somehow. The Namekians will stick with the two of them forever, and they'll make sure that the Namekian sacrifice wasn't in vain. And now, Yamcha and Chaozu are back, and they've actually learned some things from King Kai. Just like Goku, they now have Kaioken and the Spirit Bomb. And they actually kind of want to go back to King Kai's, well, without the dying part, but maybe Kami could pull some strings and get them back there to train, and they could bring the other humans along too. They're pretty hyped up, and this serves as a great motivation for them. Yamcha's actually surpassed the other two humans, not only in terms of his base strength, but with the fact that he also has Kaioken. Too bad for Tenshinhan and Krillin though, and Chaozu I guess, but he never really expected to surpass them. But that pretty much wraps this arc up, and now we can go into whatever's next.
Alright, that was good, man. I think that was part 3 and 4. Sorry, I know I probably dozed off because I didn't stop drinking before I do some videos sometimes. You know, I'm off today, so and I got really sleepy, so bear with me. I try not to do this too much. You like my reaction, sure, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.